I'm thinking I might use a hybrid publisher for my first book. What is that like? Hi, I'm Beth Anne Campbell, and I share my life as an author, bare bones, blunt, and no BS. First of all, you wrote a book. That's outstanding. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. Now, I'm not here to convince you what type of experience to have or what type of publisher to use. I am here to tell you about my experiences raw and unfiltered. And I did use a hybrid publisher for my first book, Where the Hell is My Bacon? Bada bing, bada boom, here it is. So I did another video about what a hybrid publisher is, and I'll link that below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up on future videos. So let me tell you about my experience using a hybrid publisher. First, I was aware of hybrid publishing and self-publishing and traditional publishing and vanity publishing when I was ready to publish my book, but I didn't know a lot about any of them. So I decided to get some help with the things that I wasn't sure of, like editing, cover design, book formatting, marketing. Now, I could have done this all on my own and then self-publish, but at the time I was very green and I also worked full-time at a chaotic corporate job. So I did some research and I found a company that seemed legit, although I don't know at the time that I really knew what legit hybrid publishing was. So, or how to distinguish it from a scam. But anyway, I found a company that looked legit and I reached out to this publisher. I submitted my book for acceptance. I had to go through a vetting process, which is one of the key things about a legit hybrid publisher is if they just accept you without even seeing your book or reading an excerpt, it's probably a vanity publisher. So this company made me go through a vetting process and they reviewed my proposal, they took me on, and I ended up in a contract with them for publication, distribution, and marketing. In a nutshell, I basically worked with a project manager and she then worked with their staff for all the things needed to get the book ready for publication. And this was all done in correspondence. We had a few calls, but mostly it was done through email or instant message. And overall, it was a good process. But I'm going to break it down for you here because there was some good and some bad. So here are the pros that I found working with what I would consider a good hybrid publisher. So number one, they provided all the services that I needed, like editing, book cover design, formatting, uploading to Amazon and Ingram Spark, and marketing. Number two, everything was clearly spelled out in the contract. It was pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Okay, cool. Number three, I had good communication, good engagement with the project manager who was assigned to my book. Number four, I learned a ton about the process, both of what I wanted and what I didn't want, and that really helped me in future book self-publication. Number five, they did an outstanding job putting the book together and getting it out there. I can't complain. It looked really good and it was just really tight. Number six, I retained all the rights to my book, including the cover, which is pretty standard when you're working with a hybrid publisher. And number seven, I was able to get out of my contract easily when it made sense to do so. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, but it wasn't all great. So here are some of the cons in my particular situation. Number one, this is pretty much a con for everybody. It costs money. So I ended up paying about $2,500 as my share of the publishing risk, which is what you do with a hybrid publisher, right? You're paying for services essentially. Number two, I got less royalties per book than if I had self-published. So they listed my book on Amazon for $21.99 and I got less than $3 per book on that. With a self-published book, I would have gotten $6 or $7 per book on that. Number three, I had no control on pricing or placement. So I thought $21.99 was a little high for a paperback of this size, but it was way high for an ebook. But that's the price that they had on it, and I had no control over changing that. Number four, some of the services were maybe a little light. I don't want to say half-assed because they weren't bad. It was just a little bit light. So like the cover, which turned out great, but most of the elements on the cover I provided, they just kind of put them together. And then the editing and the proofreading, so I didn't have any developmental editing, but just some line editing and proofreading were very minor, like surprisingly minor. And I would love to believe that I am such a great writer that I really just don't need much editing and proofreading. But the truth is I really expected it to be much, much more. And that worried me. Number five, I had no insight into the marketing that they did, and I really didn't see any advantage to it. So if they did anything out there, I didn't feel the effects of it. Number six, I didn't get paid until my royalties reached a certain threshold. So If I sold 5 books in a month, but I wasn't at my threshold, I didn't get a payment. I would have to wait until I reached whatever the threshold was of royalties. So I don't remember what it was. It was $25 or $50 or something like that. And number 7, there were no early reviews, no beta reader reviews that I was aware of or anything like that. So after my book had been in distribution with this publisher for about 3.5 years, I made the decision to get out of my contract. And a lot of that had to do with what I talked about with pricing and control. So here's a tip for you if you use a hybrid publisher. Right up front, ask them what it will take to get out of your contract should you decide you want to do that down the road. How easy will it be or how hard will it be? I did ask this. I don't know why. I just remember asking, but way before I signed anything, I just said, what if I decide that I want to get out of the contract? Maybe because I worked in contracts in corporate, I just wanted to make sure. And they told me, they said, we've never done this before. No one's ever asked us to do that, but it would not be a problem. And they were right. I don't know if I was the first, but it was pretty easy to back out. I just asked and we did an amendment. And then I republished Where the Hell is My Bacon with a new cover because I liked this cover better. I just wanted to change it up a little bit. And of course, now I have control over the pricing and the placement and the promos and the marketing, which works better for me because I'm a control freak. So anyway, that's my experience using a hybrid publisher. So any of you out there, have you used a hybrid publisher and what was your experience? Good, bad, or ugly? Let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, happy writing.